is a mirror to the future. Or so a friend once said to me. I did not believe it then. I do now. The past walks with us. Its face is the face of all those we have hated. All we have loved, all we have failed. They say that to be an agent of the Imperial Inquisition is to see the true horror of the universe and still have the will to prevail. As with all things, there is another face to the truth. I have looked on the terrors of the universe and cast them down. I have judged billions and forgiven some. I have known victory and touched defeat. And the lesson that all my years as an Inquisitor have taught me is that it is not enough to prevail. We have to endure the poison of history. We have to survive our own sins. My name is Gregor Eisenhorn, and these deeds were mine. Hunting the recidivist Merdin Iclone, I came to hubris in the dormant of 240.M41, as the Imperial sidereal calendar has it. Dormant lasted 11 months of hubris's 29-month lunar year, and the only signs of life were the custodians patrolling the precincts of the hibernation tombs. Where are the tomb's custodians?
They are making their rounds.
Knowing we approach? Knowing we expect to meet them?
I will check.
I had heard of the bitter cold, and prayed to the Emperor that I would never feel it again.
How?
Stay back!
Processional 212 was a hibernation tomb at the west end of the Great Imperial Avenue. It housed 12,142 members of the hubris ruling elite. Be careful, Loris. You know how dangerous Iclone is.
He's an animal, a dangerous one, but we'll put him down.
We have him cornered. That'll make him more of a threat than ever. Watch your back.
You too, Eisenhorn.
I admit I was excited, eager to close and conclude a business that had lasted 6 years. iClone had evaded me for 6 whole years. I studied his methods every day and dreamed of him every night. Now, I could smell him. In every direction, rows and rows of ice berths ranged down the smooth basalt chambers. It was like walking into the Imperium's grandest morgue. Their eyes were dark and unforthcoming, as though they had done this mindlessly, by order. All my life, I have had a reputation for being cold, unfeeling. I am not, but I possess a singular force of will. To feel pain, fear, or grief is a luxury I cannot afford. Throughout my career, it has served me well to steel myself against all that this wretched galaxy can throw at me. Loris Vibben had served with me for 5.5 years. In that period, she had saved my life twice. When I recruited her from the clan slums of Tornish, it was for her combat skills. But I came to value her for her sharp mind, soft wit, and clear head. I stared down at her body for a moment. I believe I may have uttered her name. I made a promise to myself. I would kill Eiklon with this gun. Eisenhorn? Gregor, is that you? You're dead, you know, Gregor. Dead like they all are. Step out and make it quick. He was good. I'll give him that. My legs actually twitched, almost starting to walk me clear of cover into the open. Eiklon was infamous across a dozen settled systems for his mind powers and mesmeric tone. How else had he managed to get these dark-eyed fools to do his bidding? But I have similar skills, and I have honed them well. Show yourself first. What makes you think you can catch me this time, Gregor? You've failed so many times before. Admit it, Gregor. You don't want to kill me. You want to join me. The sleepers were waking, their frigid bodies sore with hibernation sickness, trapped in their caskets with no one to aid them. I bid Betancourt alert the custodians. Apparently, relief crews were on their way. But why? Why was Eiklon doing this?
got you, Gregor.
You're only stretching this out, iClone.
Feeling cold, Eisenhorn? You'll join these corpses soon.
I hesitated. A merciful headshot would have spared her everything. But once awake, the hierarchy of hubris would not understand a mercy killing. Do you think me weak? Flawed? To set my duty before her suffering? I would gladly ignore one life in agony if I could save 100, 1,000 more. For I have the moral strength required of an Inquisitor. Mankind must suffer so that mankind can survive. It's that simple. But to this day, I still dream of the slow death to which I abandoned her. The screaming, the pounding. God, Emperor, help me, I will never forget that. Thousands of frantic souls waking up to face an agonizing death. The cryogenerators had come from the ships that first carried humans to this world. The tombs had been raised around them and kept operating for thousands of years. This was where iClone's men had artificially triggered the revival process. A key component of this mysterious device had been removed.
Almost, Gregor.
There's nowhere left to run, recidivist.
You cannot stop us, Inquisitor. Your Imperium's days are numbered.
Perhaps, but yours ends here.
I will make you scream like the girl did. She begged us for mercy, Gregor. Come join her in hell.
No more words, heretic. I punched the gun so hard into his mouth the trigger guard broke his lower teeth.
Most perturbatory.
Amos?
A codifier of unique design, similar in layout to the mind impulse units used by the hallowed Adeptus Mechanicus to govern the linkage between human brain and god machine. It may be illicit or stolen. The Adeptus Mechanicus would be most interested.
Either way, they're not going to know about it. This is inquisitorial evidence.
Quite so.
Where is this off-worlder, this Eisenhorn? Arrest him!
High Custodian.
You will be detained until...
No. I am an Inquisitor of the God Emperor of Mankind, Ordo Xenos. I will cooperate in any investigation, but you will not and cannot detain me. Do you understand?
An Inquisitor? Thousands are dead. This desecration, the highborn of hubris, violated by
a murderer. A follower of darkness who now lies dead under a plastic sheet on the upper landing platform. I mourn the great loss hubris has suffered tonight. But if I had not been here at all to raise the alarm, who knows what catastrophe Iclone may have wrought, or even his overall ambition.
Iclone, the recidivist? You must brief me on this entire event.
I shall prepare a report and bring it to you. I will have questions for you too, but you have plenty to deal with right now. We made our way out. Betancourt presented the junior custodians with a formal register of evidence to be stored for my inspection. The list included the casket and the bodies of Iclone and his men. None would be tampered with or even searched until I had looked at them. Betancourt made these requirements abundantly clear. We took Vibben with us. It looked as though we may have had to remain on Hubris for a week, maybe longer if Carpel proved difficult. But the investigation could not wait. As soon as I returned to the gun cutter, I went to see Loink, our astropath.
Master?
Contact the main Astropathicus enclave here on Hubris and request a full transcript of off-world traffic for the past 6 weeks. Also any record of unlicensed traffic, individuals using their own astropaths. Whatever they can make available. And a little threat that it's an Inquisitor requiring this data wouldn't hurt.
Will you be requiring an auto-seance?
Not yet, but I will eventually. I will give you time to prepare.
Master, is it true that the female Vibben is dead?
Yes, Loink.
Ah, I thought it was quiet.
The comment wasn't as callous as it sounded. Loris Vibben was a latent psyker. Whilst she was alive, I could hear the unconscious broadcasting of her young, eager mind. And yet my psychic abilities at the time were undeveloped compared to Loink's. Loink, although a young man, was already physically deteriorating from the demands of a psyker's life. He hadn't been with me long. My previous astropath had been killed trying to translate a warp cipher 6 weeks before. I spent an hour with Amos in his cramped data slate-filled room preparing a report for Carpel. I set out the basic details, reserving anything I felt he didn't need to know. I accounted for my actions. I made Amos check them against local law. In truth, I was bulletproof against local legislation, but I wanted to check anyway. An Amalathian prides himself on working with the structures of Imperial society, not above or beyond them, or through them, as a mono-dominant might. I wanted Carpel and the senior officials of Hubris on my side, helping my investigation. Although exhausted, I could not sleep before paying one last visit to Vibben. Loris Vibben. Twice she saved my life. She saw herself as my aide and bodyguard, but in truth, she was more a companion and fellow warrior. For the first time in 6 years, I did not dream about Iclone. I dreamt of something else. Dark came a revelation. His blank eyes were empty. Not like Iclone's drones, but vacant, like an immense, starless distance. I had no idea who he was. At that point,
Eisenhorn.
Touchdown! Destination reached. Ready to disembark. Damn bright place.
They have 11 months of pitch dark, so they light their habitat to an excessive degree.
They don't get many visitors in this season. Most of the ships here are local, trans-atmospheric. I make 3 non-locals aside from us, 2 trader launches and a private cutter.
I'd like to know how that bastard Iclone got here, and how he was intending to leave again.
I'll find out. What about Vibben?
Do you know what her wishes were? Did she want her remains sent back to Tornish for burial?
I don't know, Eisenhorn. She never told me either.
Take a look through her effects. See if she left any testament or instructions. Can you do that?
I'd like to do that.
It was a short trip through the overbright streets to the custodial hall. The flowers?
from the hydroponic farms on East Dome 7.
Signifying?
Morning, same as the sashes. What happened last night is a major tragedy for this world. Yellow is their holy color. I believe the local religion is a solar belief.
The sun as emperor?
Common enough. Extreme here, for obvious reasons.
High Custodian.
They are all dead. All 12,142. Processional 212 is dead. None survived the trauma.
Hubris has my sincere sympathies, High Custodian.
Your sympathies? A great part of our ruling elite die in one night, and we have your sympathies to console us.
That is all I can offer, High Custodian.
Your arrogance astounds me, Off-Worlder. You bring this monster to our world, battle with him through our most sacred sanctums.
Wait. I came here to save you and deny Iclone's plans. But for the efforts of myself and my companions, he might have destroyed more than one of your hibernation tombs. I broke none of your laws. I was careful to preserve your codes in pursuit of my work. What do you mean I brought this monster here?
We registered no off-world ship these past 20 days, except yours, Eisenhorn. Did you choose Hubris because it was a quiet place where you might finish your feud undisturbed in the long dark?
Amos?
The supports are early Imperial Gothic in style, but...
Amos, the report. Read this, Carpel. Read it thoroughly. Or should I read it aloud to all here assembled? Should I explain how I came here at the last minute when I learned Iclone was moving to Hubris? That I learned that only by astropathic decryption of a cipher message sent by Iclone 2 months ago? A cipher that killed my astropath in his efforts to translate it?
Inquisitor,
What about this? The evidence that Iclone has been planning a move against your world for almost a year. And this, gathered last night, that an unregistered starship moved in and out of your orbit to deliver Iclone 3 days ago, unnoticed by your planetary overwatch and the Custodian Guardians? You were wide open. He exploited you. Don't blame me for anything except being too late to stop him. As I said, you have my sincere condolences. And next time you choose to confront an Imperial Inquisitor, you may want to be more respectful. I'm excusing a lot, because I recognize the trauma and loss you have suffered. But my patience isn't limitless, unlike my authority. I expect your full cooperation as I extend my investigation.
But the matter is over.
I want your consent for me to continue, as well as your full cooperation. Iclone may be dead, but he was just the blade point of a long and still dangerous weapon.
What are you talking about?
If he speaks again without me knowing who he is, I will throw him out of the window. And I won't open it first.
This is Chastener Fischig of the Adeptus Arbites. I wanted him present.
Chastener.
Inquisitor, my question stands.
Merdin Iclone was a facilitator. A brilliant, devious man, one of the most dangerous I've ever hunted. He had no true allegiances. He worked to facilitate the grand schemes of others. What he was doing here on Hubris was to advance and develop someone else's plans. I must work back from Iclone, his men, from any clue he left and dig my way into whatever greater secret darkness was employing him.
And for this you want the cooperation of the people of Hubris?
The people, the authorities, you, everyone. This is the Emperor's work. Will you shrink from it?
No, sir, I will not.
Excellent.
I grant my authority. Conduct your work thoroughly and quickly. I ask 2 things in return.
And they are?
You report all findings to me, and you allow the Chastener to accompany you. Fischig has the authority of the Arbites. Consider him a local guide.
And your ears and eyes. I will be grateful for his assistance.
Where first?
They wanted blood, I realized. They wanted someone to punish for the deaths, or something to tell to the rest of the population when they woke to this disaster a few months later. I couldn't blame them. Midas, prepare the combat simulator. We have a new crew member.
The combat simulator is ready.
Okay, Chastener Fischig. Let's see what you've got.
Oh. Have a chambermaids and more fight. Not bad, Chastener. That's a mess you made of my hold.
Master, I have scrutinized all of iClone's transmissions. They are all in cipher, and it will take some time yet for me to unlock them. But Brother Amos is...
The key is in the lag. During your struggle with the recidivist, he was sending and receiving to someone with a 12.5-minute delay. That's another system.
You're sure?
There are 3 worlds between 11 and 15 minutes lag from Hubris. Thracian, Primaris, Cobalt 2, and Gudrun.
Cobalt is no more than an Imperial watch station. Nothing there.
Thracian is no surprise. That's where we followed him from. But Gudrun? Gudrun's a primary trade world. Old culture, old families.
Old poisons.
Can we be more certain?
I'm sure I can break the cipher, Master, at least for the coded headers, if not the actual text. Given enough time...
Lowink, tell Gregor about the Hubris transmissions.
There were messages sent from Hubris to iClone's ship before he arrived, not so heavily encrypted. They are rather vague and indirect, but they do discuss something called the Pontius.
The Pontius? Do you have a location?
Why else do you employ us? Thorview 12011, on the west side of the dome, the high rent quarter, Aristoturf.
You said we were meeting at 2.
I did, didn't I? Just about to come and find you as it happens. We're going to Thorview.